get my 6. What's up, everybody? Welcome to a beautiful sundown here in Central Virginia. Welcome back to the most awesomest homesteading channel on the entire planet that has absolutely nothing to do with homesteading. I've got a really kind of creepy story for you here this evening, but I want to show you a couple things first. I'm going to reverse the camera angle and just get a couple of shots of our property because it has pretty much become a wildlife sanctuary. Just within sight of me, I see 3 rabbits, 2 baby deer, and I have a black racer, a rat snake on the back porch, trying to get into another Beaver product that I'm promoting here in the upcoming days. So just let me show you some of this wildlife, then we can get into the story, okay? All right, let me zoom in. See there at the bottom of the trail. Got a couple of rabbits right there. And then there's a bee box. There's no bees in that one yet. We got bees in another bee box. Now, oh, there's another bunny rabbit right there in front of the wood splitter. See that one? It's a baby bunny. Okay, so pardon the mess of the porch. The snake was here, but it's now gone over here. Look at that. Hi, Snakey. This is interesting because I know what's going on here. There are a couple of Carolina wrens that sleep in that bag every night. That's a ghillie suit in there. And there's a couple of Carolina wrens that have been nesting in there. That snake probably smells their eggs. So those were the rabbits and the snake. The little fawns, I think they're twins. They've run into the woods, but they'll be back out. I'm going to show you my view. Back up here at the top of the hill. Isn't that beautiful? I love to sit up here in the evenings, watch the sunset, watch the sun go down. At times, off and on, my wife will join me, or our son will join me or us. And I'll sit here and watch deer come and go in and out of the field. Yesterday evening, my beautiful bride Dearly, aka Giggly Girl, and myself were up here, and we saw a fox run through down there. So anyway, that black snake, it's actually not a black snake. There's like two main really. There's a traditional black snake, and we have one of those living here somewhere that is like 6 feet long and as thick as my wrist. It's a huge one. But the one I just showed you, it's called a black rat snake. A lot of people refer to them as racers. They don't get as big as the big giant, 6-7 feet long black snakes. That one's a mature size. It's about 2.5 or 3 feet long. Harmless. They're not poisonous, and they actually do you a favor. They eat the mice and the rats. Now, Dearly's screaming at me to kill this thing, and I absolutely will not kill it. I will not kill any non-venomous snake on this property. Never have, never will. I dispatched a copperhead a couple of springs ago because I'm not going to leave those around here with me and my wife and my kid around here and other, people coming to visit. And I haven't seen one since. That's the only copperhead I've ever seen here. In 8 years, I've only seen one. But with all that firewood you saw earlier in the video, there's probably more here. So anyway, this is the story. And I don't know if it's a story about serendipity or history repeating itself. And I told this story a few years ago on this channel. But I don't think a lot of you probably never heard it or might not remember it. But it's about black racer snakes. So it's one of my earliest childhood memories. When this happened, I would have been only 3 or 4 years old, and I'm 50 now. But we were visiting my father's family of origin way out in the boondocks of West by God, Virginia. I mean, you think of West by God, Virginia as being rural, and I know where I grew up, it was pretty rural, but where his people were from was so rural, it's like third world country type rural. And we're sitting on the front porch. The men folk were out there talking. I think the women folk were in the kitchen cooking. I mean, it's Appalachian, it would have been in the 1970s. Appalachian culture. So we're out there, and one of my dad's cousins or somebody's out there. I don't know who this guy was, but he was an adult man. I was, like I said, 3 or 4 years old, and my father was talking about how he remembered when he was a kid, him and one of his uncles were sitting on this porch, and it was a wooden porch on an old shanty shack, that he grew up in, that kind of has like roofing as the paper that's on the side of the house. I mean, I'm telling you, it's like Great Depression era Appalachian poor, okay? But he was talking about how when he had been a kid, he was sitting on the porch with the men folk. I'm sure the women folk were in the kitchen cooking. So that would have been like the 1940s. And this black racer just came up in between, out of a crack from in between two boards on the porch, like a big old black racer. And his uncle or whoever was out there with him just got up and stomped that thing on the head and killed it and took it out and threw it away in the edge of the field. Well, no sooner than those words had come out of his mouth, a black racer shoots up through the crack of two boards on that porch, and my other adult male relative, whoever he was, jumps up and just stomps on that thing, stomps on its head, kills it, and picks it up and starts carrying it over, throw it away at the side of the field. And so my dad called all the women folk outside, says, "Hey, stop, putting the baking soda in that dough to make them biscuits. Come out here and look at this dead racer, black racer snake or whatever." So they did, and the guy carried it over, threw it into the weeds there at the edge of the field, went back and sat down. And my dad was like, "Wow, how like amazing is that? I tell you that story, then it happens." He says, "You know what? The only thing that would be more amazing would be if another one comes up out of that crack and you kill it." Because back, when he'd been a kid, when that happened, they went back to the porch and sat down. They were talking about that snake and how big it was. And then another one came up through the crack, and the other adult male kinfolk stomped on that one and took it over and threw it with the carcass of the other one. No sooner than those words left my dad's mouth, here comes another black racer, black rat snake, up out of the crack in between those boards, and up jumps my whatever relation to me he was, adult male, stomping on its head. He dispatched it, killed it. And of course my dad goes, tells the women folks, "Hey, stop cutting them biscuit rounds out of that dough with that soup can. You women folk, come out here and look what the men folk just did. Just killed another one of them evil, mean old snakes. It says in the Bible that's why man fell from grace, because of the temptation from the serpent." Hey, I think Eve was framed, and so was the serpent. So was the snake. Whatever. It's crap to listen to that story and then hate snakes forevermore. Reminds me of in the Middle East, they don't like dogs because of the story where the Prophet Muhammad was attacked by a pack of wild dogs. So now in the Middle East, the folks have the same attitude towards dogs over there as a lot of the fundamental Christian types in Western culture have about snakes. Just terrible. When I was in Iraq, we'd see wild packs of dogs just roaming around because people don't take care of them. And I think like there were like 11 people a month in the city of Mosul, where I was, where I served over in Iraq, were bitten and contracted rabies from these dogs. So anyway, happened again, and so they took it over, threw the carcass in the weeds. And that was it. Then we went back over and sat back down on the porch, kept chewing tobacco, and while the women folk went inside and kept cooking the biscuits. Well, I hope you liked the story. I know it's short for me, huh? But I just thought of that because I thought I saw another rabbit. Just thought of it because, saw that black racer out there on the porch. Dearly wants me to kill it, but I ain't a gonna. That snake's gonna keep us from having to pay an exterminator for mice and all that stuff. Just hope it leaves my baby rabbits alone. All right. Catch you guys for more next time for the most awesomest homesteading channel on the entire planet that has absolutely nothing whatsoever at all to do with homesteading. I think the snake just got in that bird's nest. Homesteading off the grid. And of course, as soon as I'm done filming the video, the baby deer comes back out. Hi, baby deer. Hi, baby deer. It's over here hanging out by, oh, there's the other one. There they are. There's the twins. Hi, baby deers. Say hi to everybody. All right, now we'll see you for more next time from the most awesomest homesteading channel on the planet that has nothing to do with homesteading. Homesteading off the grid. Welcome to my front yard.